What are your dreams? What are your wants? Do you want to grow your business? Help you crush your goals personally, professionally, and financially? Just join the conversation. What's up, guys? How we doing today? Hope everyone's having a blessed day. Hope we're killing it. Hope everyone's living the dream, the life of legacy that they hope to live, guys. Hey, welcome to the call. Everyone on call, the newcomers, those watching the recording. First and foremost, I just want to thank you for sharing this Tuesday with me as we do Growing with Grossi Live. As I talked about before, these calls are really about defining the game, like the game you want to play in life and how you start defining it. What does it really mean? Like, what game is it that you want to play? How do you want to do it? And then my overall intention of the whole thing really is just to help you in any way. Help you in any way, shape, or form, and show you how I've done it and how I continue to do it, how I continue every single day to try to live the life of legacy or dream that I want to have, not only for myself, but for my family and everybody even on the call. And so truly, my hope is that you all take away some of the tips and tricks and start implementing them right away in your life. Like, I'm not the smartest guy in the room, but I do things on a consistent basis. I try to do the little things every single day to get me up to that level or that success that I deem a success. And everybody has success that they deem totally differently in their life. And that I want you to understand in those, and just make sure that you're using whatever it is. Take one golden nugget that I give you every call, or one thing that I could give you that might help catapult your career. I mean, then we know we're successful, because like I said before, we are in it's called Growing with Grossi for a reason. We are growing together. I hope you understand, not only am I hoping that you grow, I'm trying to grow with you. So I really hope if any way you take out of these calls, you're at least growing. And so for some of you that don't know me, a little bit about me, I know I talked about my upbringing before, single mom raising 3 kids. I actually own 5 different businesses at this point. I'm called the Dentist CEO of that brand, where I help mentor and coach other dentists. I own my own dental lab called Great Lakes Dental Design. I own Grossi Dental and Wellness. I do dentistry. I actually now have 2 crumble cookie franchise that I'm opening November 4th. And so I also have coaching businesses, and I'm a help with finances and financial planners. But I say this not to boast or brag, but I say this because you can always do more. And in my life, growing up, not having enough money, having the scarcity mindset of money, I always say, I want to continue to do more. And one of my biggest dreams, and if you don't know this, one of my biggest dreams is, how can I make the greatest impact, not only in my family's life, but your life? Like, how can I truly make a difference? And I don't know, just with the thumbs up, guys, I mean, who does not want to make a difference, right? Harder thumbs up. Do you want to make a difference in this world? Of course. I mean, Gabby, thank you for responding to that. I know you want to make the biggest difference. And so this week, what we're going to talk about is the pain of discipline versus the pain of regret. And when I say that, I want you to understand that there's a pain of discipline and there's a pain of regret. And I promise you, a pain of regret weighs 1,000 times more than the pain of discipline. A success leader, Jim Rome, often said that we almost suffer one of 2 pains, and it's the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. And as we're approaching this holiday season, and we're about to come, believe it or not, it's only a few weeks away before, less than 2.5 months away from New Year's, that everyone sets this New Year's resolution. They set their personal goals. They kind of have this plan, coming next year, I'm going to do this, or coming this time, I'm going to do this. And they're really working on ways to change themselves. And before I touch on that, I want you to understand is, like, every single day you have the opportunity to change what you want to do. Every single day you can encompass a new discipline, right? And it's so oftentimes we don't do that. But if we can make a discipline a part of our routine, if we can truly somehow create a discipline every single day. Some people have a discipline, believe it or not, to pick up their phone every single morning they wake up and they watch TikToks. Like, that is a discipline. It just might be the wrong discipline, right? And we joke about it because they're starting their day in kind of like this high-paced mentality. They might not be meditating, or they might not be doing something, and then they wonder why they're always anxious. But I digress. We're talking about, at the end of the year, we're going to do the New Year's resolution. We're going to really look at change and how do we establish a new routine. And what I find out is that after just a few weeks, we often feel that pain of regret, right? We regret that we didn't stick with our vision or our dreams, and we haven't really changed what we wanted to change. And remember that discipline is rarely easy. As much of it as pain, at least at first, but regret is much bigger than the price that you pay. So what do I mean by the pain of discipline or pain of regret? Like, it takes a lot. It took a lot for me not having a financial background to make it through dental school, right? It took a lot. And I shared a story with you last week about the pain of regret when I pulled myself out of a baseball game, that I really had the ability to really fight through. I endured that pain, and I had the ability to maybe push myself just a little bit farther. But when I felt that resistance, I said to the coach, hey, I can't pitch anymore. And that was when I was 18 years old. I'm going to be 50 in February. And what is that, 40? I can't even do the math right now. 31 years or 41 years later, I'm still talking about it. I mean, that's how heavy regret is. And to you, I can't measure your regret, what you feel, but I can tell you this: we've lost loved ones before in the past that we just wish we could have said one more goodbye, or we've had things that happen to us that we just wish we'd have been disciplined enough to stick with it. You know, a lot of us in New Year's resolution, we're going to start a diet, and we're going to say, hey, I'm going to get in shape, or I'm going to do this. And we all do things every single day that, you know, at the beginning, we can always say you can fake it for 21 days. You can fake it for a month, but can you fake it for the whole time? And most of the time the answer is no, because we're just not disciplined enough. So to me, discipline and commitment are in close alignment. Would you guys agree with that with a thumbs up? Like, if you're committed to something and then you're also disciplined, they're in a really close reliance. They're almost like cousins of each other. And so to me, like, they go hand in hand. And so part of living your best life is living with absolutely, positively no regrets. What I love about free people, and I know Christine's on the call, and if you know anything about Christine, she's kind of like a free spirit. Like, she probably has no regrets, and so she's a person who I've had the ability to work with for a long time, and she literally says it how it is, and she's pretty disciplined in what she does. She's pretty structured, and I'll bet you when she, you know, if she blinks her last eye, or she ever breathes her last breath, she would live life with no regret. And the thing is that's, she's trying to live the best life she possibly can. There are so many things we want to be differently when we look back in the past, but regret is that heavy burden. Like, we're always living in our past. We always say, but what if I would have did this, or what if I would have did that? Or, you know, think about that. How many, just with the thumbs up, guys, have you ever thought about something a long time ago that you wish you either would have stuck with or you would have did differently? Of course. So if you're thinking about that every day, what if you would have stuck with it? And what if today's that day where you rediscipline yourself to go get that dream you wanted to? Like, that's what's beautiful thing. When God wakes you up still, when you still have breath in your lungs and you can feel that air and you can breathe it in, and you still got a chance. That's what I love about this thing we call life. That's what I love about this thing we call the game of life. You still have a chance to let go. So maybe you won't ever stop thinking about that thing you regret, but maybe you can revamp it and change it. So I want you to understand that things are never as easy to do. They're also easy not to do. They're easy. It's never easy to do it. It's actually very hard to do it. That's where the discipline comes in. It's actually easier not to do things, because we all want to stay in our comfort zone. We all want to stay in our little bubble. We all want to stay in the thing that is safe. And that's where we'll talk about gatekeepers at a different time, fear, judgment, and ego. But that's where we all want to stay safe, because remember, you're fighting against survival, right? We are designed just to survive. Like, that is our intention. And you have to understand that. So you got to be working against that every single day, because you got to go get something more. You got to become something greater than you want to be. And that's going to take discipline. That takes everything you have. You know, how do I juggle 5 businesses or 6 businesses or even 7 businesses? It takes discipline. It takes me working on things every single day. There needs to be a commitment level, yes, but it's really the discipline. And the reason why I work like this every day, the reason why I try to stay disciplined every day, is because I hate that feeling of regret. I don't want to regret everything. I hope you guys on this call, I'm not regretting anything. I truly hope that you realize that by doing this, I'm trying to make an impact in your life. So if I don't show up to you every single day, if I don't show up every Tuesday, then I will regret what I'm trying to do. I don't want to have that burden on me. So when you're ever struggling what you want, when you're ever struggling what you should do, go back to your commitments and stay disciplined, because that pain and regret will be heavy. With discipline, all over time, we get stronger. Each and every single day, we're going to get stronger. And we take little baby steps to accomplish our dreams. I'm a baseball guy, and so I talk about everyone falls in love with the home run. And if you're a Yankees fan, everyone fell in love with Aaron Judge, and he was chasing Roger Maris's record and all this stuff, and they fell in love with him. But yet they got swept by the Houston Astros. And what does that even tell you as a message? Hitting home runs are great and they're flashy. They don't win the game of life. They don't win World Series titles. They don't win championships. They can flukely, but what it is, it's small ball, it's pitching, it's playing defense, it's hitting a single, it's advancing the runners. It's just advancing yourself every single day to progress, which gets easier. And when it gets easier and you start stacking wins, you get more discipline because you're starting to see the results. So good, solid, everyday habits result in this consistent progress. And being consistent, doing in the right things is where people fall down. They just don't want to stay consistent. They just don't want to do the little things because they want this big win. They don't stick with diets, not because they don't want the outcome. It's because it doesn't happen fast enough. And so they don't stay disciplined. They don't understand the small wins, which you can stack up. Just hit the freaking single. Just stay disciplined to whatever that is in your heart to get what you want. You know, they said that what was it? The Sistine Chapel took years upon years to build. Years, right? Years to build. And it's the most beautiful thing in the world. The sad thing is it can be ended in a drop of one bomb, right? What does that tell you? It's way harder to stick to what you want to stay disciplined. It's way harder. It's going to take years upon years and days upon days or whatever, months upon months to really accomplish what you want. So then if that is the case, if it takes that long to create beauty, why do we stop short? I was having a conversation with my staff today, and there's so many people in life that they say they're going to run a marathon. They say they're going to do something to the finish line. And just when they get that major breakthrough, just when they get to that point where it's going to raise their level, they stop. And they stop because they start getting uncomfortable. They stop because they go, I can cut a corner today. And when you don't have that discipline, you're going to look at yourself 5 years down the road and say, why didn't I get to where I wanted to be? And the reality of it is, you just weren't disciplined enough. You weren't committed enough. Thumbs up if this is tracking with you guys. Thumbs up if this is making sense to you. So regret is completely a useless emotion. I want you to hear that. Regret is completely useless to you. It's a useless emotion. You spend valuable time mourning something that you feel did or didn't do. Right? Your feelings of regret won't change the outcome. We can't go and, yesterday is history, right? We hear all that stuff like, man, if I would have only did this in the past. Guys, it's a done deal. Like what I had to embrace, even though I talk about that, is why am I wasting my time, energy, or burden in regret? Like, what can we do to change it? You could have been the biggest jerk to your sister, brother, nephew, cousin, whatever it is, and you can't do anything to change it. There's nothing you're going to do. You can't go back in time. I can make a mistake on this phone call or on this Zoom call that we're all on right now. And I can make a mistake and I can dwell about that mistake or what I said something wrong. And there'll be a hater out there, but I go, man, I wish that it's pointless. And so many times in life, we live with that. We all live in the past. And so our future is dictated by all of our emotion of regret and oh my gosh, if I would have did this differently. Guys, I'll tell you this, the only person thinking about that right now, even from the person you had, is yourself. You might want to let it go. Like, do you really think in fair terms that my baseball coach even remembers when I was 18 years old and I pulled myself out of the mound? Probably not. Do you really think it's going to change his life? No. Do you think my mom even knew that story or anybody else? No. Does it affect anybody else's life but my own? No. So maybe I should let it go. Like, it's so silly. But even if you were the biggest bonehead in the world and you did something you regret, it's a useless emotion. It is serving no value to you at this moment. So what I love about life, what I love about being human, what I love about everything is we can change our direction and our path. We're not that geese or goose that want to have to always fly south for the winter. We don't have to do that. Like, we don't have to follow that pattern. There is no instinct to tell us what we have to do. There are parents or there's people that are trying to get us to influence what to do. But the beautiful part is we have a choice every single day to either reset our goals or standards or not. And so I say this to you because there's always hope. No matter what you've done in the past, no matter how wrong you've done, no matter anything you might regret, whether you didn't stick to a diet plan, whether you didn't stick to running that business you've always wanted to do, whether you didn't really follow your dream, there's always hope. There's always tomorrow. As long as you got air in your lungs, you can change it. That's what's beautiful. So discipline delivers pain with purpose. Like, I love this. Regret is a useless emotion, but on the sidebar, discipline delivers pain with a purpose. When you push yourself to things that you'd rather avoid, when you get up early and go for that run, or when you'd rather stay in bed, when you say no to the second helping of pasta, of the slice layer, I love pasta, by the way, or the second slice layer of a chocolate cake because you know you'll regret it later. Or so to avoid the wasted emotion of regret, right? You fight for that temptation, in which you fight against that temptation that can overcome you. So to me, it's like when you're disciplined, you start creating a little swag in yourself. When I say disciplined to what I want, and I start getting these results, it's easier to stay disciplined. It's so hard. I'm opening up a crumble cookie thing, right? But at the same time, are you ready for this? I'm opening up a crumble cookie franchise, and at the same time, I'm trying to stay in shape. So I'm going to be around sweets and all this stuff all the time. So I have a choice right there. There's a choice. I could eat every cookie in front of me and never accomplish my goals, or I can stay disciplined. See, one of my biggest goals in my life, which I fell short on in the last 3 weeks, I'll be honest with you, is I said to myself 2 years ago at 48 years old that I will be in the greatest shape of my life at 50 that I've ever been in my lifetime. So I'm working against father time, and I'm working against hormone levels, and I'm trying to do everything I can. So I have to stay disciplined enough. And by the way, that 50-year-old birthday is in February. Just a few months away. So I got a lot of work to do. So if I truly want to accomplish that as a goal, I got to stay disciplined. And if I don't do that, there's no one else to blame but myself, but I will live with regret. So how would you, or how should anybody go about disciplining themselves? Like, that might be the question you might be asking. Did I get all this? Grossi, you're saying all this, and that works great for you because you've done this or you've done that. But if I haven't been disciplined in the past, like, what are some of the things that I could do to maybe better myself? Guys, I mean, what are some of the things that Dr. Grossi I could do, or Bobby that I could do that might help me really establish discipline? Because maybe in your family or in your family tree, there hasn't been a lot of discipline. Maybe there hasn't been times where, you've been surrounded yourself. We talk about the environment you live in. You don't surround yourself with people that are truly disciplined. Well, discipline comes from having a high self-control, right? It comes from, it can be hard for some individuals to achieve, but it's really, how do you control your own self? But with the following tips, like I said, that I'm about to give you, you can master the active self-discipline. So to me, you want to touch other people's lives. I want to make the greatest impact in other people's life, like I talked about, just like you might want to do things. But understand it starts with me. If I can't impact my own life, if I'm not disciplined in myself in my life, if I'm not doing the things every single day that I'm trying to preach for you to do, if I'm not causing creating my own future, then everything I said is for naught. So it always starts with you. The first thing I had to do, and I hope you use this as a tool, is I needed to understand my weaknesses. You need to understand what is your weakness are, and we are all victims of this. Like, what is your weakness? I don't know what your weakness is. I know what mine are. My weakness sometimes is I get too chaotic. I get too out of control, and I'm not organized enough. And then I just forget to do certain things, not because I don't want to, but it's because I got 9,000 things going on. Sometimes I just need to do the one thing. Like we talk about, there's this book called The One Thing. I can't remember the author. I have it over here somewhere. I can't remember the author, but look it up. It's called One Thing. And the concept of the book is just focus on one thing to get that done and then move to the next thing. And sometimes I got, like, my ADHD brain does 1,000 things. And so one of my weaknesses is that when I become very anxious, I become very passionate, if you will, and I respond in a way because my glass is overfull of water, and I don't allow other people to help me. Because I've been a kind of a dog-eat-dog world, I've been kind of a self-motivator. I work on myself so much. I don't sometimes delegate and help other people get me through that situation. I don't ask for help. So that's one of my weaknesses. But so understand your weaknesses, one. Secondly, you need to set goals. When you set a goal or a target, we've talked about goals, setting a target. I believe in targets. Make sure you get the time frame you wish to achieve that goal. Like if you want to lose 20 pounds, make sure you just truly put that time frame and don't judge yourself if the pound goes up or down. Put that timetable on there. Set a goal. If you want to write that book, when do you want to write that book by? I had a goal when I wrote my first book that I wanted to have a book done in 10 days. And you might say, well, how did you write 10 chapters in 10 days? I set a goal that every time at my lunch where everybody was eating, I was going to write one chapter. And what it does by setting goals in your big scheme of life, and that's why that planner we talk about is so heavy. When you truly know what you want and you set your end target and you take many steps along the way and you take a mini journey, you are starting to stack those wins together and it becomes easier and you feel like you're accomplishing more. So, you know, Ken is on this call and I know Ken has a fitness goal. I know Ken very well. And I always say to people, like, if you have a fitness goal, let's say it's 20 pounds. And I use this analogy all the time. People want that 20 pounds to happen right away. They want that instant impact. And it's almost impossible unless you're trying to cut weight for wrestling or whatever it is. Like 20 pounds might still be steep, but there are people that can do it. But I would argue, is it healthy? Like, so are you going to have a sustainable 20 pounds off for your lifelong goal? Or are you just going to accomplish it one time? See, to me, accomplishing something one time is nothing. Anybody can accomplish something one time. Can you maintain that? Can you grow upon that? Can you raise the standard? So let's just use 20 pounds as a goal. In fairness, even if Ken just lost 2 ounces a day, he's eventually he just said, I did it. My goal was not awesome. Hey, you know what I'm going to say to you, Kenny? This is just between you. Now what? Now what you going to set, bro? We always want more in life. There you go. Now what? Right? So now what are we going to do? But what I say to you is, like, understand that, guys, just losing 2 ounces a day is hitting a single, right? Because eventually, what is there, like 16 ounces in a pound? Okay, you lose 2 ounces a day. Okay, that takes 8 days to lose a pound. All right, do the multiplication. So 160 days, whatever it is, 160 days to lose 20 pounds. My math might be a little bit off. So what? 160 days to lose 20 pounds healthy? And you'll probably lose it faster than that if you stay disciplined to look at yourself 160 days from now in 4 months, roughly, whatever that is, or 5 months, to look at yourself to be 20 pounds later to accomplish your goals. That's not worth it. It's not worth staying disciplined, please. Because I'll bet you what happens is you're going to lose more than 2 ounces a day. You'll lose 1 pound a week or 2 pounds a week or 3 pounds a week, whatever it is. If you lost 3 pounds a week, it would take you, what, guys, 7 weeks to lose 20 pounds? And you'd lose 21, way to be an overachiever. You mean to tell me your health isn't worth 7 weeks to accomplish that goal? See, that's the problem. People set goals and they don't understand their weaknesses and they're not disciplined enough just to do 7 weeks. 7 weeks, we can do anything. I even joke about it. 7 weeks, you can be a great employee. Want to know why we evaluate you in 90 days? Because it's longer than 7 weeks. People go back to old habits. Little joke there. So my point is stick to your goals. Understand your weakness, set your goals. Accept your mistakes. Accept when you eat that pie wrong. Mistakes are inevitable. We're all going to screw it up. All right? When you default at any task or hurt anybody or fail into that temptation or that diet food or whatever it is, you need to just flat out forgive yourself. Just say, you know what? I'm human. I'm just human. And I don't think we do that enough. I think we want to please. I believe the human person wants to please people so much that we don't let ourselves off the hook. Like, I'm going to challenge all of you on this call right now, just with a thumbs up. If somebody truly said they were sorry to you and truly meant they were sorry to you, would you forgive them? Of course. Of course you would. I got a question to ask you. You're not worth your own forgiveness? You can't apologize to yourself? You can't hold yourself with so much integrity and say, man, I really screwed this up for me. But you know what, myself, I'm sorry. Guys, when I say I self-talk to myself all the time, people might think I'm crazy. Like, I have conversations with myself all the time. I don't always say it out loud, but I talk to me. Remember what I said a long time ago. I am the voice. I lead, not follow. Believe, not doubt. Create, not destroy. I'm a force for good. I defy the odds. Set new standards, and I step up. That's affirmation. That's a rallying cry. Guys, you need to say to yourself, you know what? I forgive myself for making that mistake. I forgive myself for behaving in that way, and understand that you're just human. So understanding your weakness, setting goals, accept your mistakes. And complete the task before moving to another. If you fall back, do away with every distraction on the other side of commitment, right? On the other side of commitment, and don't compromise your effort to deter from where you want to go. Meaning, when you set your target, just go until you get done. Guys, I was cleaning out my garage, and I literally did not stop until it was finished. That is discipline. People might laugh at me. And that's why I say so many people just don't finish this thing called life. They don't finish the game. They stop in the 6th inning when they're playing 7. They stop at mile 8 when they're running a 10-mile race. They stop when there's that pressure or that pain, or they feel that resistance. Ooh, it's getting a little bit hard. Don't stop. Finish. We would tell our kids, if you're a parent, you tell our kids all the time, finish what you start. Finish what you start. Even if you don't like it, finish what you start. That's a discipline. And that is something that you carry way beyond this little phone call. That is something you carry your whole life. I'm going to ask you this question. It's hypothetical. Where are you falling short and not finishing? But I'll bet you if you look deep, you're going to know. And that's the thing you need to fix. But just finish what you start. Just finish it. And then move on. I talked about the one thing a while back. Just move on. Finish what you start and move on. And then we got, obviously, when you refuse to discipline yourself, right? When we refuse to really stay disciplined, living like without having any self-laws, we spend as you earn without course to save and invest for the future, allowing yourself to be distracted when you should be working, you are definitely going to live a life of regrets. Your body might be strong. You're not working, setting aside enough time for the future investments. When you get older and weaker, what will you fail to do? Like, what are you going to fail to do? Like, what regret do you want to have? Pain regret is so heavy. Don't look back 5 years now, but say, what if? Don't look back, Gabby, when you say, I wish I would have did this 5 years from now, because you're going to be stuck. One of the human needs you have in life is growth. And if you're not working towards that growth every single day, you're going to be the same. I can look at your planners right now. I can look at who's done a planner, who didn't do a planner, who hasn't set goals, who doesn't have a vision board, where are they going to go in 5 years? Like, I can look at all your stuff right now and project your path in the next 5 years. I promise you, at least in the next year. Because if you're not disciplined enough to tell you what you want, the world's not going to respond to you. Let me say that again. If you're not disciplined enough to tell you what you want, the world's not going to help you. You have to, guys, it's a discipline. It's a discipline every single day to meditate for me. It's a discipline. It's a discipline every single day to maybe write down my goals. Maybe not every day, but look at my goals and read them every day. I would challenge you, if you're just getting in a habit, just get in the habit to do these every single day. Get in the habit of writing down what you want every single day, and you watch what happens. Ken, get in the habit now, if you met your weight loss goal of whatever that is next. Like, get in that habit to just do it. Build on that every single day. Gabby, get in that habit of whatever it is, or whatever's going to take you to get in that healthy mindset. Maybe it's cutting something out of your life. Maybe it's spending less time on the phone of TikToks, whatever it is. Get in that habit. In that time that you cut out that's not benefiting you, put something else in that slot that benefits you, and you watch what happens. You watch the confidence you have when you start living a disciplined life. You watch the results you get out of your life when you start living a disciplined life. The hardest thing you can ever do, the worst thing you can ever do is feel that pain or regret. I promise you. It is therefore better to feel that pain or discipline than ever the pain or regret. Success separates people. Don't let the lifestyle you have drain your future enjoyment. Don't let whatever you're doing right now that you're not committed to take away who you should be. We were a blessing from God. I believe God is my Savior. I believe Jesus is my Savior. If I'm a relative to God or Jesus, I should have the best life I possibly can have. We allow our own mindset, our own regrets, or ourselves living in the past to truly dictate your outcome. We live in the past too much. Discipline yourself to live in the moment. Discipline yourself to live every single day where your feet are. Don't consider a setback as a failure. I heard a quote a while back, and it said, obstacles are only seen by people who can't see their goals or don't focus on their goals. Obstacles are only there for the people that can't see their goals or work towards their goals. I'm paraphrasing a little bit. If you're disciplined, if you truly have a setback, it's never a failure. It's not an obstacle. It's an opportunity to become a different version of yourself. It's an opportunity to learn. So let go of those past mistakes. Forgive yourself. Understand your weakness. Forgive yourself. Set new goals, set new targets, and do daily disciplines every single day. And I promise you, if you do that, you're going to destroy this thing we call life. Guys, please, please, please understand that this is about you. Please do your assignment. Email me your thoughts. Email me all your realizations about your pain versus regret into the info@thedentistco.com. I beg you. I beg you. Tell folks about it. Tell folks about this all. Hey, guys, hey, man, I got this dude called Grossi, man. We're growing together. I would love you to be a part of it, especially if this call was of value. Was this call of value for anyone of you guys? Did you get anything out of it? Yes. And coming next week, after we do all this stuff, we talked about, commitment versus interest. We talked about pain or regret. We talked about raising your altitude. We talked about your attitude, the power of your thoughts. We talked about all this in these calls. And if you want to watch the replays, man, it's on the YouTube, The Dentist CEO. Just go on YouTube. You see them all. Here's what I'm going to tell you. I'm going to show you next week how to take the step in that direction you've never taken. I'm going to tell you next week how to truly take that step in the next direction. Guys, from the bottom of my heart, with much love, as I always tell you on Tuesday, I appreciate you. I love you, and I appreciate you allowing me to grow with you. I hope you have a great rest of the week. I hope you now take the steps every single day to figure out what it is. Just pick one thing, body, physically, emotionally, financially. Pick one thing this week. That would be my task for you, to pick one thing that you're going to now put a new discipline in, so that who cares what happened yesterday? Kung Fu Panda. Yesterday was history. Tomorrow's a mystery. Today's a gift. That's why they call it present time. Kung Fu Panda. I'm going to tell you this right now. Live in the moment. Be where your feet are, and recommit to this day on this call to be disciplined to go get what you want. Love you guys. We'll talk soon. Have a great day.